Cyril Ramaphosa was supposed to be the man who fixed things. The calm after the storm, the suit after the struggle. Instead, South Africa has been left wondering whether it traded Jacob Zuma's chaos for a more polished brand of collapse. Once celebrated as Nelson Mandela's chosen protege and a shrewd negotiator at CODESA, Ramaphosa entered the presidency with a reputation of a man of strategy and compromise. He was the billionaire who understood business, the unionist who once understood the workers, the ANC insider who could supposedly cut through the rot. Yet, in practice, his presidency has been the equivalent of standing in front of a crumbling house with a clipboard, taking notes while the roof caves in. Load shedding worsened, unemployment reached catastrophic levels, and corruption, though better hidden under his smile, remains deeply rooted. The absurdity lies in the paradox. How can someone so intelligent, so positioned, so experienced preside over such monumental stagnation? He has become a symbol not of renewal but of delay, a placeholder leader waiting for something that never arrives. Ramaphosa's presidency feels like a never-ending process. He promised a new dawn, but it turned into a perpetual sunrise that never quite broke daylight. Every crisis, whether Eskom's implosion, unemployment surging past 30%, or water scarcity, was met with commissions, task teams, and panels. His leadership style could be summed up as a national workshop, endless talking in circles with flip charts and sticky notes while the country drowned. The absurd part is that he manages to maintain a veneer of rationality, convincing just enough people that he's carefully balancing forces within the ANC, when in reality, South Africans are balancing candles, batteries, and diesel just to make some dinner for themselves. His critics within the party call him indecisive, his opponents call him weak, and the people call him absent. Yet somehow he remains in power, smiling, nodding, promising reform in measured tones. It is as if he governs a dream version of South Africa, one that exists only in his speeches, while the real country burns, floods, and collapses in slow motion. The strange thing about Ramaphosa is that he was never short on credibility. He was a chief architect of South Africa's democratic transition, and his skills as a negotiator were undeniable. He became one of the richest men in the country, climbing boardroom ladders with calculated precision. But that wealth became a curse, fueling suspicions that he was too cozy with elites to care about the people. The Pala Pala scandal, where cash was stuffed into sofas, questions about foreign currency and secrets around transactions further shredded the image of a clean, steady hand. For someone who once led strikes with workers chanting his name, the optics of unexplained millions hiding on a farm are almost comically absurd. It confirmed what many South Africans often already felt. Ramaphosa is not so much a servant of the people as he is a custodian of his own interests. He plays the long game, but the long game has outpaced the nation, leaving millions in poverty while he calibrates strategies that never quite land. His silence has become louder than any speech he has ever delivered. The absurdity of it all just keeps deepening when you realize how much patience South Africans had for him in the first. Compared to Zuma's reckless chaos, Ramaphosa's careful tone felt refreshing. But leadership is measured in delivery, not in diction, and Ramaphosa's delivery has been staggering, only in its absence. Load shedding is not just a power failure, it has become a metaphor for his governance. The flickering, uncertain, never fully reliable situation. Crime is rampant, infrastructure is decaying, and the rand sinks while the president insists that things are being handled. What is being handled? What is being handled? South Africans now joke that he's handling the country like he's handling the pala pala cash, stuffing problems into couches and pretending that they are invisible. Even within the ANC, his grip is shaky, held together not by loyalty, but by fear of instability if he falls. The irony is that instability is exactly what his passivity has created. A government on autopilot drifting while he insists that he is charting a steady course. Ramaphosa's defenders argue that he is constrained by factional battles within the ANC. That may be true. That may be true. He may be facing walls at every corner. There could be Zuma loyalists, RET factions, and comrades who see him as a stumbling block to their enrichment. But leadership is not the art of excuses, it is the art of results. Instead of decisively cutting off the rot, he has fed it with compromise. Instead of reshaping the ANC, he has become its hostage. The absurd part of all of this is that despite his obvious failures, many South Africans cling to him as the lesser evil, a man who is failing slowly instead of failing spectacularly. But failing slowly is still failure. The country's youth unemployment is catastrophic. Crime brutalizes communities, and corruption drains what little hope remains. Ramaphosa presides over it all with a lawyer's grin, explaining technicalities as if technicalities can cook meals or keep the lights on. The more he tries to stabilize the party, the more unstable the nation becomes. His success at survival mirrors the country's decline. So, who is Cyril Ramaphosa? He is the negotiator who negotiated himself into paralysis, the billionaire who cannot fix poverty, the president who cannot preside. He is the paradox of promise without delivery, power without action, vision without light. He is both respected abroad as a statesman and ridiculed at home as an absent landlord. What is most absurd is that he clings to the office as though it is his by destiny. Even while the country screams for relief, will he step down gracefully, recognizing the truth of his failures, or will he cling harder, convinced that one more commission, one more panel, one more speech will buy him redemption? South Africa is watching closely, and the mood is not patient anymore. His comrades sense weakness, the people sense betrayal, and the nation senses a void where leadership should be. The question is no longer whether Cyril Ramaphosa can fix South Africa. It is whether he will leave before the damage becomes completely irreversible. Will he ever accept that the time to step aside has already passed?